All right, so gender dysphoria. I want to elaborate on that. Gender dysphoria, according to the medical terms, it's pretty much a medical condition that a person may feel disassociate themselves from a biological sex. So, an individual that was born as a female may feel one day as a male, and just because they just how they feel, and general gender dysphoria really is very common into the youth, man. As you're growing up, your brains are not fully developed, so you're like a young guy, you're a boy, you may like to play with Barbie dolls, or you may have that feminist type of culture and that feel. And sometimes too, I guess, being a product of your environment, the way you was raised, depending on your parents, it can highly influence you that too, because once you're young, you can't really think for yourselves for the most part. But just like a boy, like I say, he's just getting to ballet lessons, or he like to do things like just cook, or just not go outside and play football, basketball, or anything that's just like physical when you're like young. As a females for the most part, as a girl, they want to be like a man for the most part. They dress like a man, or they play football, they wrestle. I mean, personally, I remember I had a cousin, we used to wrestle back in the day, and she used to play football with us, get on the dirt in the mud and wrestle with us. I'm like, man, this is not girly like, but hey, I didn't care, man. We were just having fun, enjoying our times, man, back in the early 2000s. And a lot of people actually associate themselves with this, and overall. Now, adult gender dysphoria, that's a mental condition, it's it starts to be the norm. They did a survey of like 2,000 individuals, man, 2,000 people, and I want to say like 306 people in the UK participated, 209 people in the US. It was like 78 in Canada, and elsewhere was miscellaneous. And they was just stating that they came to the conclusion that, okay, at least 1% of the population is gender variant. And gender dysphoria, the queer, the gender area, someday you might feel like you feel like a man, and some days you feel like a female. And that goes into my I guess my topic, when I'm going to go into detail of gender fluidity. And gender fluidity is being encouraged in these public schools. Now, me personally, I have nothing against like the homosexual, the heterosexual, all that stuff, homosexuals, LGBTQ community. It's just the fact that I feel like, when you're young, you don't need that to be forced upon you if you don't have to. I feel like the school system and the European school system needs to eliminate that. That needs to be taught in a college education, or a college institution, I'm sorry. And that should be like an option. I feel like, as children, you susceptible, and you repeat things, and you absorb it as a sponge more often, because your brains are constantly developing. And my thing is that even though it is common, I feel like this needs to be, needs to have some type of knowledge and understanding about this. If you go into detail in medical terms, the CAH stands for congenital adrenal hyperplasia, and that's pretty much an additional of male hormones in the mother's womb, okay, when the baby is being actually formed in the female's fetus. And so therefore, in that custom, you may have more genitals in that time, and if you're a male, you come more alpha. If you're a female, you feel like you may have more male tendencies. You don't act as feminine, you don't have those feminine qualities. And retrospect, you have the estrogen insensitivity syndrome, okay, and that's sort of like the little opposite. That's when improper things are not working in a female fetus, okay. And so when you have AIS, estrogen insensitivity syndrome, then that's when a man might come out there, he might feel like he's not as masculine, not as tough as compared to his other counterparts or his peers. And that's a society comes on with this new feminist agenda, and they feel like I'm associate myself with a woman. One day I'm just gonna feel like I wear women's garments, I'm gonna wear women's clothing, wear heels, wear lipstick, and one day I'm gonna feel masculine, I'm gonna wear shorts, I'm gonna wear a suit. And that's like the correlation. So pretty much they don't associate themselves with their biological sex gender. That's what the gender fluidity is. And I was watching a video, they had a drag queen, that was talking to them. It was a man dressed in like women garments, had lipstick and everything, and encouraging these kids in children time. And I think that was a little wrong in a way, because like I said, man, it's nothing wrong having a knowledge and understanding about this, because in biological terms, I mean, I believe, you have to have a thorough knowledge of your body and the things that you shape yourself to in psychiatric ways, man, why you do the things you do, okay. And I guess you want to go into detail on homosexual. I believe like it could be a generational curse, and some people gravitate to that now because LGBTQT community has a lot of political power. You can't be really discriminated based on your sex preferences, and on top of that too, that you have a lot of support. And many individuals, man, they've been probably wrong from the same sex, like they're not receiving that same emotional support from the opposite sex. And so a woman probably gonna gravitate to another woman where they can talk to about their problems, to give them a constellation, may give them financial support. And then, you know, when they start the experiment, maybe in their college days, then they're gonna say, you know what, it's okay for me to be a lesbian, or for this man, it's okay for me to be this man, because, you know, women don't understand me. I'm just, you know, I was just gonna like be sexually attracted to this man, even though I feel like as an individual you can't be born attracted to the same sex. I believe that God wired us to attract to the opposite sex, because in the Bible He wants us to be fruitful and multiply. But I do believe generational curses and things that, you know, that your mother has carrying you, and the things that she put inside you can really affect you when you come out of her womb. And, you know, this is just an interesting thing. I just believe that gender fluidity should not be discussed in elementary school, or it should at least maybe to adolescents, but I really feel like it should be a good stronghold into college courses, something that you kind of want to just, you know, a little interested into it, man. And I know we're practicing this humanism in America, which is one of the most biggest downfall. Please check that video out. But, you know, just having individuals come in and encouraging these children here, it's not a good sign, because, you know, they planting seeds in their subconscious mind at an early age. You know, they already been doing this with the cartoons, you know, they have the sexual type of like references, and as you get older you like, wow, like I look back at these cartoons now that I used to watch, I'm like, oh, are you serious? I didn't catch that now to then. So I just feel like, man, it's being too much. I think we need to stick with the old traditional, not old traditional, but traditional school system, reading, writing, so they can be very successful in the acupuncture test, SAT test, and compete against just worldwide people, man. It's just rebuild America, you know, and the STEM markets, man. You know, I really feel like, you know, you really need to emphasize like the importance of finances, man, to these children, man. The importance of family structure. I mean, a sociology class, don't really incorporate being, you know, it's okay to, for your sexuality, like it's okay, you know, to understand gender fluidity at this time, because they don't know about their hormones, they don't know about the chromosomes. I mean, you know, they don't know about puberty and all that stuff. I feel like that's just a separate thing that needs, I think our parents or the kids, you know, people, the guardians that's raising these kids need to go down to the educational school board, because they are already gonna do this. Because if you're just sitting back and not doing anything, they're gonna just gonna do whatever they want to do. But the thing is, you can't have this excuse, parents, because I'm working, I'm tired. Or homeschool your children. Homeschool your children, or on top of that, you go to the educational board meeting and say, why is my children, you know, you fight for this. Why is my kids learning about this gender fluidity? Seriously? You know, so I think that's just too young for the young man's mind or young girl's mind. It needs to be taught in a college class, and optional, like an electoral type of class, you know, or get some type of credit. But for me, I think this is really an abomination for the children, man, because they are already innocent. And I think you don't need to corrupt their mind with this feminism type of society. It's wrong on so many levels. Now, I'm really finding it fascinating that, you know, it's some people that's 22, 24 years old. There's a lot of people that actually, you know, a victim, I won't say victim, or maybe, like I said, relation to gender dysphoria. You know, they just really feel like, you know, one day, you know, mixed emotions, I'm a man, one day I'm a woman, and they actually, you know, just live their lives like that. And that's okay. But do not force this type of agenda into these kids' minds. I think this is something that, if you're born as a male, be a male. Born as a female, you're a female. It's a reason. God created us unique in His image for us to continue to carry out His mission in the gospel to everyone, those that are lost. But this is just like an art of confusion, I feel like. And yeah, it just needs to be eliminated, man. I believe the education department needs to a wake-up call, and somebody needs to go down there and just have a meeting with them and just eliminate this, because it's going on in California. I want to say maybe in the Detroit public school systems as well. But you don't want your kids coming in and they're like, hey, we just learned about it, so it's okay to wear women's garments and all that stuff. Now you plant that seed in that young man's mind. He's not going to really have no interest in becoming a man, or learn the components of becoming a real man, becoming a leader, protecting your family, being a provider. Those essential things as he's growing up into his educational career. That's my biggest concern. And that's a woman too. You know, you're supposed to be submissive when you get married and stuff, and yielding to authority. That's what submissive is. And assisting your partner, you know, cooking, cleaning, like, you know, just playing that woman's role, being very supportive and nurturing. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on this, man, this gender fluidity things. I know this is probably a little old. They've been doing this since 2014, introducing this to the schools, but I want to take my take on this and my spin on this. But I believe this is a real issue. It should not be taught to the youth, man. Not at all. This should be optional, something other knowledge they should acquire when they get older, if they want to learn more about it. Like I said, offer into a college course. But it's your boy Young Link Jr. here. I'm not going to draw on too long. Thank you for my new subscribers. I love you guys. You like, comment, subscribe to this video. If you want me to talk about any other things, just please email me at roddy9312@gmail.com. I'll do a subscriber request. I love you guys. You guys continue to share. Deuces.